Hey, encouragers. Welcome to another episode of Encouragement. I'm Nathaniel Bickley. Let's get started. I hope you've had a great week. I want to talk to you about a video I saw today. This is going to be more in the financial realm. So I hope it's relevant to you guys because I don't think I've really done one of these videos yet. But there's two things I want to say about this video before we jump into it. I don't want to show the whole thing, but I want to show part of it. There's this kind of sentiment that I've seen rolling around that I really didn't like and I want to address. And I hope that we can all, as a community, discourage this kind of overall viciousness toward business. I think one of the things that's really important to understand is businesses ultimately boil down to individuals, and we're all individuals and we should all be thriving together. And those who aren't doing good business practices obviously should fail in a healthy economy, and they, allow new growth after that. It's like a forest fire. It may cause a lot of devastation, but there's so much growth and things like that that can happen afterwards that allow an ecosystem to thrive better than it could have if it stayed there another 100 years. So that all being said, this video is more about car dealerships and how they're not able to sell inventory and push it as far. So manufacturers are getting backed up and the lots are getting backed up as far as pushing inventory at local dealerships. So there's these kind of two problems. Some people rejoicing over this problem, and that's kind of where this sentiment I've been picking up from videos similar to this. I don't know the editor of this video's thoughts on this issue exactly, but I do know that the sentiment is kind of there. It's palpable, at least in this video. So I'm only going to show you a part that's kind of talks a little bit about resolution and focuses on that aspect. But I don't think it's healthy for us to thrive or to seethe and just be excited about someone's failure for no apparent reason, in a kind of just nasty way. And you'll see what I mean by people just kind of go after these businesses and they say, I want them to fail because they deserve it. And they did this and this and this and this and this. And it's all going to be speculative and all these different things. But these businesses, especially when it comes to cars, is very transactional. It's very, you can negotiate. And if you can't negotiate, then that's not the car for you. Then you can move on. You can get all these other things. I'm not defending them. A lot of them I've seen sleazy practices and things like that. So been there. I've been on a used car lot buying my own cars for quite some time. So I have lived and learned, but I don't think this is the right way to go, at least not the right sentiment to have. So let's jump right into the video and we'll take a look here.
I see a world where there's both direct to consumer and also the dealerships. Let it be a free market. Why are we forced to go through a dealership? Why are we not allowed legally to buy a car from the manufacturer? So the whole process is just crazy, but finally dealerships are getting back to how they had all this inventory. It's sitting around, their profits are down, they're finally getting a taste of their own medicine a little bit, but they need a lot more. For dealerships to really feel the pain, we just really got to stop buying this overpriced junk. And people are finally starting to realize as repo rates go up and people realize it's not the way. I don't need a new vehicle right now as these prices keep going up and up and up. And as we know, they screwed us over for so long. They're just kind of saying, I'm done with it. I'm not going through a dealership anymore. I've never known so many people to also watch videos, learn to negotiate the right way, and really not let the dealership take advantage of you by not buying additional products. Be that buyer. Don't be the finance manager's best friend. You don't want to be friends with that person. They're going to rip you 15 ways from Sunday. I'm real curious to know what you think. Do you think...
So as you can see there's a little bit of resolution at the end in this video, and that's why I chose this video, because I like what he's saying. There's no reason why we can't go buy directly from the manufacturer. These third-party problems, that's one of the things that Tesla ran into early on and solved it, but they kind of had to make a little bit of a streamline. They had to create the Tesla dealership and those kinds of things. There's got to be a way to simplify a lot of these processes, and I'm hoping with the successes of things like Amazon that manufacturing gets a lot closer and a lot more of the middlemen get cut out. And I know that means business is shutting down, but we can innovate and do other things and create more jobs and those kinds of things those ways. my personal thought is I really would hope that we would be above looking down on businesses and getting nasty towards them and rejoicing when they fail for no apparent reason, just out of like a spite. Obviously, if they're doing terrible business practices, then I don't want to say they deserve it, but it rains on the just and the unjust. If you didn't go out and prepare your field, you're not going to reap the harvest. That's just how it goes. So if you are wise, then you can go and catch the right wins in business, and that's what these businesses should be doing. That's what they pay a lot of people a lot of money to do correctly. And if they don't, then that's people being complacent. And that's how we can get that new life into it. So I do understand that aspect of it. And I understand his frustration. Prices are way ridiculously high. So I've bought used. But you really have to do your homework. And I don't know much about cars. So it sucks trying to go in there and negotiate with not a great, strong position. So I envy those of you that have those skills. But as Bruce the Shark would say, I never knew my father. No, I knew my father. He just didn't know much about cars. I love you, Dad. It's just the truth. But yeah, it's one of those things that I think if we can be above that as a community, and we can help one another by being shrewd and teach one another. So get online, watch some videos, learn how to negotiate, learn what to negotiate. Like he was talking about, don't let the finance manager tell you what the final deal is. And if they're going to add percentages on top to your deal, don't let them skim off the top. Just say, hey, cut me a straight deal. I want to be here. Here's my down payment. I'm doing the best that your average person can do. So let's do this together, and let's do business. Otherwise, I can go somewhere else. And that's kind of your strong position in the art of this deal, is knowing when to walk away. None of this constitutes financial advice. I am just saying I find it interesting that cutting out the middleman in cars, in the scenario of cars, I think we could extrapolate that all across our economy, like in banks. There's no reason. I hear there's technology out there, i.e. Bitcoin, and other things that can allow you to do peer-to-peer business in a much more concise, simpler way, and without devastating the US dollar and without all the other catastrophes that everyone else can sum up. As you could tell, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. I apologize for nothing, but I hope that encourages you guys this week, that there are other alternatives coming, and there are different ways to do things that we should push for sure. But also, let's not be nasty to one another. Let's encourage one another. And I hope this encouraged you, and may you have a blessed week, and I'll see you next week.